Hello everyone, my name is Bree and welcome to Documented Journey. Today I'm going to talk to you about my 2022 filled journals. I'm kind of lying at that point because this one is not filled, but it is so close to being filled. I think I have 13 pages left, so I'm doing it. It's going to be filled, but I really wanted to film this video. I kind of went through and took notes on each notebook, why I liked them, what I chose to do in them, what I chose to do in the next one because of the previous one, all those things. But first, I wanted to talk to you about what I actually use in my notebooks. And it's really simple. Really simple. I use a ballpoint pen. I would say this is ballpoint, but I guess it's a hybrid. It is the Uni Jetstream ink, and I'm obsessed with this ink. It's my favorite. I honestly don't use anything else. So I love this pen, and that is all I use in any of these notebooks. And then I also use this deck. This is a Roots and Wings Oracle deck by Ryalls. She is an artist that I talk about a lot on my channel, and she also has a YouTube channel. She has a Patreon. She has an Instagram. I'll just link her down below because she's really cool. She makes these cards. She's also making a new deck soon, I hope. She's working on it right now. I follow her on Patreon, and she talks about it ever so often. I love this deck. It has a really cool front. It almost reminds me of a tapestry instead of an actual illustration. And then how I use these cards are more or less as journaling prompts. I just pull a card, and she has a booklet. You can read the inscription, or you can just go with what you see on the card and kind of pull from that to journal about it. I absolutely love these as journal prompts. So I do pull a card a day. I write the definition that she provides in the booklet, and then I talk about how it somehow relates to my life, or I try and ask myself questions for the day to remember that, hey, I pulled that card today. Maybe it will relate to my day in some way, shape, or form. And then after that, I do stream of conscious journaling, or something kind of like morning pages. I don't do the whole morning pages like the Artist's Way with Julia Cameron, 3 pages, all that. I just kind of journal until I'm done. Sometimes that's half a page, sometimes that's a full page, sometimes that's 2 pages, sometimes it's 3. I also use these notebooks to take notes on maybe videos that I've watched. I have a few friends that I chat with on Marco Polo, and so I listen to their message, I jot a few things down, and then I have those as notes for when I go to reply to them. So that's kind of how I use this. It's a catch-all, it's a commonplace, but it's also a place that I really work through things. I've toyed with the idea of making these burn journals, and I'm not sure if I can actually do that. Sometimes it's very hard to throw out a journal or burn it just because of the other memories that are included in here. So I don't think that I will be able to do that in 2023, but I think that that has power, and I'm really interested in doing more research on that. Now, I have done burn journals or throwaway journals in the past. Or recycled journals, but those are more or less like, I don't want to say gossip journals, but just journals that I write in that it doesn't matter. I'm just writing to write because I feel like I want to, not because I'm working through something, have something to say, or it's part of my daily life. It could just be something that happened on Instagram, or something that I'm talking about with drama in my family or something like that. I don't necessarily need to keep those things. So anyway, like I said, toying with the idea. Let me know in the comments what you think about that. Have you ever had one? What do you write in them? Is it something that you think is useful? I'm really trying to think about that one. All right, so let's start off with, I do have 4 journals. I'm gonna guess that I did 3 months in each journal, but I don't really know. I did not write down exactly when I started and when I stopped these. I'm kind of just categorizing them as 2022, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's how I keep my journals. I think that the last number that I remember even writing on a journal is like 57. So it's just, the numbers are just getting too big, and so I thought if I separated them by year, it might be better. I've been journaling since I was in 5th grade, so that just tells you, and I've kept a journal the entire time. Now, there was in high school where I think my whole 4 years of high school was just 2 notebooks. So I've been off and on with it, but since I've had kids, I have been an avid journaler. And my son is going to be 9 soon. So that just tells you I have a lot of journals in general. Okay, let's get to it. My first journal is an Archer and Olive. There are good things and bad things about Archer and Olive. One of the amazing things that I think is absolutely beautiful is I love their linen covers. I love how it feels. I like how it looks. This green is stunning, my favorite color. I also like the botanical. It is gold leafed or something like that. It's just shiny gold on there. Another aspect of an Archer and Olive, it does have thicker paper that I don't care for. I am not a thicker paper type of person unless I want to be working on a large watercolor piece. I don't need thick paper in a notebook. So I struggled with this because of how thick the paper was, but I bought it and I wanted to finish it up, so I did. Let's see, what else can I say about this? I tried to do a page per day in this one, and I had a lot of rules going into this first journal that I quickly abandoned. And with all the rules that I set up in this one, when I get into my next one, I really start to simplify things. So as you can tell, I have 1 Archer and Olive, and then the rest are the same notebooks, which are dingbat journals. If you don't know much about a dingbat journal, they are amazing. That's all you need to know. No, I'm just kidding. I have had many videos, and I wonder if I have an inside sleeve. Yeah. I've had, and kid art that just fell on the ground. It says on the back of their information card that they are a green company. We make sure that there is no nasty stuff in our notebooks and pens. Even the water used to produce our paper is returned to the rivers cleaner than when it was taken out. We use biodegradable and recyclable materials and only FSC certified paper. Dingbats are biosafe because we enjoy being part of nature. They are vegan. If you purchase these actually in the UK, I think there's like some incentive, but I don't know exactly what it is. But for us folks in the US, we don't get that incentive. So I guess for me, it doesn't matter. But if you're in the UK, you should look into that because I'm pretty sure that there's something for you. With this notebook, like I said, I wanted to be super simple with it. I still continue to stay with the pen and the journaling cards or the Oracle deck. I really did not like writing out spreads in here and being so rigid with my journaling. So with this one, I realized that maybe I wanted to start tracking a bit more and set it up kind of like instead of setting up daily pages, maybe set up a monthly situation at the beginning and then move forward into free form journaling. And I thought that maybe this would be enough structure but enough looseness to help me transition into this journal. I set it up like this, where I had a monthly dashboard, so anything that was important or kind of, I don't know, if I read a book, if we did something fun, I kind of just bullet pointed in that section. And then the next page, I created a calendar and pretty much a monthly calendar, and then within those boxes I wrote my workouts and I tracked a few things. I also tried my hand at setting up a gratitude page, and in that page I pretty much set it up like the weeks. So for every week I would set up the weekly gratitude, and then I would freeform journal in the rest of the pages, and then when the next week came, I would set up a weekly gratitude that looks exactly like the Hobonichi weeks. And I really enjoyed this setup. It broke up my journaling. It kept things pretty precise, and I just could find things a lot easier. I also indexed everything as well, and I do find myself at times coming back to these and rereading what was going on in this time, or if my husband and I are talking about a situation, he'll be like, oh man, I know you wrote about this, go find it. And so doing something like this, indexing it like this, makes it really easy to go back and reread things. So I did write down in my notes that I started this in March and I finished it in 3 months. So these both took 3 months each. And then I moved on to, and this was, I don't know if you saw, but this is the black version, and it's the duck. And if I look at this, there are different collections of the Dingbat journals, and this one in particular is the wildlife collection. I like this one better because it has cream paper, and I really love the smoothness of the paper. It's probably my favorite paper that I've actually ever encountered. Yes, more than Tomo River paper. It has a little bit more of a thickness to it because I think it's 90. I could be wrong. Let me just. It's 100 GSM, so it's a little bit heavier, but not as thick as, like, I think the Archer and Olive is like 150 or something like that, maybe even higher than that. So I feel like the paper is substantial where you're not going to like rip it like it would be with the Tomo River if you need to erase or something like that. Also, it works really good with watercolor. Not that I actually do that regularly, but it works really well with watercolor. It's super smooth, and so the pen just glides on top of the paper. It is fountain pen friendly as well. This is the black one, and it's the duck. And then after June, I went ahead and got this one. This is the green one, and it has the deer on it. I used a dot grid for the duck, and I used a blank for the deer. This one actually had previous sketches in it, and it was just sketches that I did of houses that we were putting in offers on. There's one too. So with this one, I really played with adding sketches to my pages. I also continued with the bullet journal type setup where I did a monthly and I did a little dashboard. I'll kind of show you this. So the dashboard is right here where I wrote down important things that happened that month, and I had a picture, that's what I covered up. And then I moved into a monthly, this is where I did my tracking. I really like this setup. And then I have my weekly and my gratitude. So the weekly gratitude on one side, and then I went ahead and started just randomly journaling. I did use the icon setup in here, so let me get to a page here. So I just use icons, and then that icon kind of like specifies what I wrote about for that moment in time. Also in this journal, I switched ink colors every month. So one month I used black and brown Tombow, and then the next month I used blue, and then these blue Tombow or highlight colors. I really enjoyed that switching of the inks, especially when you're looking back on this and it's easy to find what month is, like what the month is, because I'm using a separate color. Even in this month I went into green ink, so I have 3 different months in here. Oh, I have a little bit of 4. I have a little bit of June, which was red, and then I switched to black for July, and then blue is August, and then green is September. So this book, I really liked how this one was set up, but at the same time, at this moment, I wanted to get into drawing your day. This really kind of brought back the Hobonichi type draw your day type style, and and of course, because it's August, September time frame, I was looking at all the different Hobonichis and trying to figure out what I wanted to do for next year. And so with this last notebook, this is a Dingbat's journal, but this is the Blue Dolphin, and I got dot grid on this one. With this last notebook, I really went old school with it, and I dropped all the bullet journal-y type things. This one also has a ton of stuff shoved in the pockets and cards from friends and things like that, but I dropped everything. I did switch out ink colors. I switched from the green to the black, and then after that I did not switch ink colors at all. I'm just regular old journaling in this one. I got simpler as I went. More simple. The notebooks got more simple as we went through the year. There you go. And I think that this just kind of steps us into what I'm going to be doing for 2023. The reason why this one is taking me longer is because I actually started a separate notebook, a little A6 draw your day type notebook, and that is more of a memory keeper style. So I really separated my journaling practices from this notebook to this notebook, and I am really liking that and what I'm doing, and so that's kind of what I'm going to continue in 2023. And don't worry, I will have a whole video on that. And yes, I did add another notebook, but that's okay. That's okay. It's going to be fine. This is what we have notebooks for, right? To use them. And I love finishing notebooks, so that's never going to be a problem for me. I feel like starting a notebook is awesome and it's fresh and it's new, but finishing a notebook is like, I feel like that's a win. You know what I mean? Starting a notebook is not necessarily a win. It's like fun to start, but I really get the satisfaction when I finish. So I'm excited to finish this guy up, move on to the next one. I thought it was really cool that all my journals for this year were A5, even though the dingbats are A5 plus, so they're just a little bit bigger than the A5. I thought it was still really neat that all of them were about that size. It would be really cool if all of them were the same company, but I'm really happy with the fact that, one, I am going to finish 4 journals this year. So my question to you is, how did your 2022 journal stack turn out? Did you stay in the same journal size like I did? Did you switch it up? I am curious to know. Chat in the comments down below. I will be having my 2023 journal video coming out soon on what I'll be using. I just got to finalize and fine-tune some things, and I'm really excited to share that with you. As for my next video, if you haven't been around for, gosh, I think I've been doing it for 4, maybe 5 years now. I do something called Create December over here on my channel. This year, Anna from Anna is joining me. I'll link all that in the description box for you. But it's just a prompt list that we do together. We've already planned it, and I will have the PDF for you to download and print out at home if you'd like. And you can follow along with us. You can journal, you can sketch, you can collage, you can take photos, you can hand letter. I mean, you name it, you can do it. It's just a fun prompt list for everyone that is creative to get together and do something and kind of get you excited for the holidays. I'll be having some videos all about what I'm doing with my Create December. I'm gonna say it's a junk journal. I'll list that video down below so you can see kind of how I've set everything up and how I'm going to be working in it. But I'm really excited for that. If you haven't checked it out, please do so. And I think that's all for today. So until next time, I'll see ya.